The assassin pushes aside the women who are watching. He threw a bomb suitcase. It was about to hit the car's yellow pit. He pulled out an umbrella and the bomb bounced off. Seeing that the assassination has failed, the assassin can only pour out a pill from his ring. This is the most powerful poison. He was about to take it. The carriage circled around and passed him. 2 shots were fired. This was the Sarajevo incident. As it's known, the trigger for a world war. This latest Kingsman movie is based on history. It's set against the backdrop of war. It tells the story of the origin of Kingsman. The assassin comes from a dark organization. Each member of the organization owns a ring, each engraved with a different animal. It's a setup that's not unrelated. I'd say it's exactly the same. The leader is very mysterious. We've never seen his face. We know that Scotland was occupied by the English for hundreds of years. The leader is trying to revive it. He puts agents undercover around the chiefs. Every now and then, he'd blow the whistle. And that's how the First World War began. In 2 short years, the war ruined everything. Germany was fighting Britain and Russia at the same time. All it had to do was get Russia out of the war. The mighty Germany would destroy England. A member of the organization, the demon monk, had the Russian president in his clutches. They controlled his mind with opium and hypnosis and demanded that he leave the war. This was seen by Connor's cousin, who informed the hero by letter. The situation is too serious to trust anyone. The aide suggested that he go to Russia to stop the monk himself. Connor's childhood dream was to join the army and serve his country. He wanted to go with him, but his father stopped him, as he always did. All he wanted was for his son to grow up safe. It was a dark and cloudy day. The general and his aide were at sea on their way to Russia. The admiral was preparing his papers. Outside the window, there was an ocean. There was a submarine hidden beneath the surface. Inside the submarine is a man wearing the ring of the dark organization. A torpedo was fired and the general's ship was blown to pieces. At the news, Connor guessed there was something wrong. For the first time, he confronted his father. Turns out his mother died in the war years ago. Her dying wish was to protect her son, to keep him out of the war. This time the father didn't get angry. He apologized to his son. He took his son to the study and turned the key. The door to the chamber slowly opened. Connor enters the chamber and is dumbfounded. His own nanny and security guards sipping small cups of coffee, chatting about national strategy and the world. He hesitated for a moment. The nanny said, "Welcome to the club. This room is the former home of Kingsman. It turns out that my father has been secretly controlling the situation. He investigated the assassin who killed Huang Chu. He found the special ring and the poison inside. Just as Connor suspected, something was wrong. So he expanded his team to Russia. And it paid off. The nanny found the ring in the monk's room. It's the same as the assassin's, but it had a turtle on it. The Russian president was mesmerized by the monk. If Russia pulls out of the war, it's the end of Britain. Killing one man will save millions. At last, the English gentlemen are on the move. They approached the monk at a ball. Connor sits across from him and pulls out a beauty card. That's right, the monk is a man and a woman. But it didn't work. The monk tells Connor to switch places with his father and get down to business. He's got a crush on the pretty boy's father. They went into the room alone. The monk was chatting and flaunting a big cake. He said he needed a boost of energy before he went about his business. Actually, the cake was poisoned in advance. The whole thing seemed to be a bit too much for him. The way he ate. The father was dumbfounded. The monk suddenly raised his hand. Father gradually lost his mind. He answered everything the monk asked him.
Why are you here?
I'm here
Because
I'm dead.
He spat out all the poison. Then the two of them got into a fight. Connor and the security guards rushed out to help. The hard-boiled monk ends up dead at the hands of the nanny's gun, sneakily taking his anger out on the lamb. The man sitting across the table was shaking. Don't care about your ideology or your politics. Just start your fucking revolution against Russia under my war comrade Lenin. On the other hand, on the train back to England, Connor celebrated his 19th birthday. It meant he could make his own decisions. His father couldn't stop him anymore. Connor had finally become a soldier. At the same time, Germany sent a top-secret telegram to prevent the United States from entering the war. The telegram was intercepted by the British. Night after night, Nanny finally deciphered the telegram. Germany was trying to distract the United States. They want Mexico to invade the United States. As soon as the President of the United States saw this, he'd have no choice but to join the war. And then the war would be over. You could say that this telegram saved millions of people. As a thank you, the British president asked Connor to come back from the front. But there was a way out of the situation. Connor ordered a soldier to bring a letter to his father. It turned out he'd swapped identities with the soldier in a trick. He finally made it to the front. The war was brutal. He was bombarded with communications soldiers running from afar. He was in possession of vital information. 6 volunteers were needed to retrieve his body. Connor didn't hesitate to step forward. No one else dared to volunteer, because it was a deadly job. A nighttime encounter with the enemy. Connor's first kill. Saying I'm sorry as he stabbed an enemy in the throat. the men he fought with, the officers who protected him. The officers who protected him fell before him one by one. This strong man cried. He understood the ruthlessness of war. He understood his father's warning and protection. A teammate's leg had been smashed off. He entrusted Connor with important information, something that might end the war.
And go home to a hero's welcome. No. Off we go to a hero's welcome.
Carrying a wounded man through a hail of bullets, shells falling at your feet, the slightest shift and he's blown to bits. He accomplished a miracle. Connor didn't get lost in the praise. His first instinct was to get on with the mission, to get the information to the highest level of command.
I'll tell you there myself. What's your name, soldier? Archie. Hans Corporal Archie Reed.
That's when the soldier next to him questioned the identity of the resistance, because PFC Alkyrd happened to be his childhood friend. Before he could explain, the soldier raised his hand and shot him. Connor is dead, the way he was described. I always thought Connor was the hero. It was only here that I realized the founder of Kingsman was his father. The woman was flirting with the ring, and then she pulls the scarf out of it. The scarf is between the two of them, blocking the view. When the scarf fell, a knife with a cold breath stabbed at the man. The man blocked it with his umbrella. A counterattack to entangle the woman to death. The man is an ace agent. The founder was an agent of a dark organization. He filmed himself seducing the President of the United States, and he threatened the United States to stay out of the war. The president had to hold back to protect his political image. He had to hold back. If we can get the negatives, the United States is willing to join Britain in defeating Germany. The lair of the dark side is at the top of a mountain. Sneaking in, through the cracks, the negatives are in the head's hand. And that's when his movements were discovered. A strong man lifted him high in the air. With a great deal of effort, he was able to fire a cannonball. He dropped him to the cliff. Below is an abyss. The security guard and the nanny see the signal and go into action. The guard leaps up and grabs the elevator. The nanny in the shadows takes aim and fires. The rope was broken. The guard flew straight up. The strong man was dumbfounded. Before he could react, before he knew it, it was over and he had the film. But we don't intend to retreat. It's good to have you back, sir. A real man has finally gotten a hard-on. I'm sure he's not old enough to fight a bunch of minions. Then came the boss fight. We'll be swept away as soon as we enter. Both sides were shooting at each other until they ran out of bullets. The leader said coolly, I heard you're the best swordsman in England. Why don't we settle this in a gentleman's way? The leader finally showed his true face. It turns out he's the general's aide. He's been lurking around all these years to manipulate the war. He escaped from the lifeboat early. The torpedo that destroyed the ship was fired by him. The leader is speaking again. It's 2 against 1. You're a gentleman, aren't you? So the English gentleman asked the security guards to step aside and let them fight it out. Who knew there was a gun hidden in his sword? I'm not ashamed to say what I said before. The security guard helped the hero to block a shot. Then the two of them fought with swords. The leader was defeated and started to play tricks again. If you open a drawer, there's a grenade. The hero can pick up a shield from the floor. They were pushed to the edge of the cliff. At the last blow, Yang was confused. It's not too late for Yang to take revenge. The hero took the opportunity to kill back. He used his son's hero medal to end everything. The US president received the negatives and immediately stationed troops. Germany was defeated. Britain was saved. After that, the hero founded Kingsman. That's what we're all familiar with. The Kinsey branch. Everyone here is a member of Genesis. If you've seen the previous movie, you should be familiar with it. The hero's code name is Arthur. The nanny is Galahad. The security guard is Merlin. He's the instructor at Ace Academy. But why did you change color? Overall, the history part of the movie is really bad. Without all the high tech, most of the excitement has been discounted. The rating is the lowest score of the IP of Kingsman. I don't know if it will be made again.